Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I would make this video today to let you all know how you can make a difference in the world in regards to everything going on with whatever may be bothering you with current events and so forth. Now, this here, in case anybody from outside the US is watching, I'm primarily addressing how the American people can handle, you know, uh, what they can do. However, feel free, you might be able to do a lot of the same things. Maybe some of this will help you out, maybe in your own nations. However, this is primarily towards my fellow Americans, but I'm glad to have you here. So, to get started, I understand all of us are very passionate about many different current affairs going on in the world today. Some are on one side of the political aisle, while others are on the other. Some here are on one side of the aisle in regards to religious views. Some have other views. Many of you who know me know I am a Christian, and when it comes to political parties, I'm independent, and then it all depends on the political issues on where I stand on things. But there are definitely issues that I do lean more to the right on, and it just all depends on the issue on where I stand. But this video is not like necessarily for me to share all my political views and all with you all. This is just a how-to video for those of you who are trying to figure out a good, healthy, positive way to share your grievances with our leaders and to be involved in our system here in America. So, whatever the issue may be that you're passionate about, you can just fill in the blank. It can be an issue that, is really important for one side of the political aisle. It can even be a bipartisan issue, which being involved in the National Federation of the Blind, there are many bipartisan pieces of legislation we're trying to get through Congress right now, and me being involved in advocacy work with the company I work for, being involved in NIB. Well, that's the group that has the advocacy program I am involved in, which has blessed me. God has used to bless me with being able to do some advocacy work, meeting with our elected officials. I have learned some different things that I'd like to share with you all. To begin with, for those of you, a quick civics review for those who may not have been in civics for a long time, or, maybe going through civics right now. Maybe you're in college in American national government, or whatever the case may be. Even for those of you listening from outside the U.S., the way that the United States government is set up, we have three branches of government. There is the legislative branch. That is what holds the United States Congress, which is the House of Representatives and the United States Senate. There's 535 members altogether in the United States Congress. There are 435 House members, and there are 100 senators. So for here in Arkansas, where I live, for my area, French Hill is the congressman for my area of Arkansas, and there are 4 congressmen for Arkansas. And what determines how many congressional representatives there are for each state is the population for each state. So like Texas, California, some of the states that have a higher population will have more members of Congress than in other states. The Senate has 100 members, so there are 2 senators per each state, such as with Arkansas, we have Senators Tom Cotton and John Boozman. And then we have the executive branch of government, and that is where the President of the United States and his administration, the cabinet, all that's under the executive branch. The third branch of government is the judicial branch, and that is where the United States Supreme Court falls into the picture. The Schoolhouse Rock cartoon back in the 70s actually did a song about the 3 branches of the U.S. government, and they did compare it to a 3-ring circus, which is pretty hilarious, when you think about just how things are with the government. I mean, no matter where you stand politically, I think we can all agree at times it does seem like it is a 3-ring circus in D.C. and even in a lot of the state houses now. A lot of people say it's that way. However, that's a topic for another time. I'd really like dig into that situation. But the founding fathers wanted it to be that way because they wanted to have a checks and balance system to make sure that no particular branch had too much power. They want everything to be well balanced, is how the founding fathers wanted it. So as citizens, what we can do with different political matters, how we get involved, is we can write letters to our representatives in Congress. We can also write the White House. You can write, as of this recording, Donald Trump is the President of the United States. You can write him, as well as Vice President Vance and the First Lady, Melania Trump. But what you'll need to do a lot of times, you can send a lot of these folks a traditional hard copy letter, but a lot of the times now you can go through their websites. For example, with like Congressman French Hill or with Senator John Boozman or Senator Cotton, you would go on to their website. If you live in their area, keep in mind you'll only be able to really write a letter to their office to them if you live in their area. And you'll fill out the form. You'll put down your name, your address, all your basic information that they ask you for on the form. And before you write your letter, they'll ask you what the issue is that you're writing to them about. So if it's about, say, supporting Israel, or you're sharing your grievances about your concerns about cutbacks to certain programs, them cutting funding to certain programs, or if it is for them to support the situation going on with, I'm just throwing out different examples here. If you're wanting to share your concerns about, crime, or just fill in the blank. And what you will do after that is, after you select from the list of selections that they have on the issues they can write them about, you'll just write your letter, tell them who you are and why you're writing them and your concerns. And one thing I have learned with being involved in advocacy work is that when you meet with your representative, if you write a letter to them, if you call their office, if you actually get to meet with the legislature, I got a event in your area, if you visit their office in DC, which I have done. I have met with Senators Bozeman and Cotton. I have met with Congressman French. I've met him at some different events, and I have also met with his staff. What you will want to do, especially if the issue is something that has personally affected you, share your story, because these people, they love hearing your stories, and there's nothing more powerful than your testimony or how an issue has affected someone you love and care for. That is where you really can make an impact. And even if something does not happen right away, your advocacy work, you can go to bed at night after you've wrote them or called them or met with them. If you have done that, you can rest your head at night, rest easy that night, knowing you have done what you can do to make a difference, to make a positive change, to do your part in standing up for your freedom that you have here as an American. Just knowing that maybe your story will bring about a great positive change. I figured I would do this video because I wanted you all to know that's what we'll have to do if we want to see some positive changes. Those are the things we have to do. You know, we can argue and bicker all day long until the cows come home about different issues. We can all get on our own little soapboxes. But whenever we hold our leaders accountable, whenever we write their offices, we call their offices, we meet with the leaders themselves or with their staff, that's bring about positive changes, even though it may not be a change overnight, because as we all know, change takes time, especially when you're dealing with government on the state or federal level. It takes a lot of time. There has been many pieces of legislation. It took many years before a lot of those legislative acts became law. The Adam Walsh Act, it took nearly 30 years for that to finally come to pass, and John Walsh had worked for many years to get that taken care of, many years after his son Adam was kidnapped and murdered. He worked for many years. He was able to get the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children going with many other individuals. He was able to get America's Most Wanted going, which has brought many fugitives to justice and helped bring many missing children home. He made a positive impact on this world, just like we all can, with whatever issue it is that you're passionate about. No matter where you stand politically, no matter where you stand, that's what you have to do. If you want to bring about some great changes in this world, if you want to see things done. The members of Congress, the President of the United States, we, the American people, are their employers, and we need to do what we can to share our concerns with them about whatever issues it is that we are passionate about. And if for some reason a leader is not listening to us, or they are going against what we believe, we have the right to vote them out of office. We have midterm elections coming up next year. There's some gubernatorial elections coming up at the end of this year, I believe it is. And we have The gubernatorial election, the one coming up, will be in New Jersey, and then I believe in Virginia as of this recording. But that's why it's very important that we exercise our right to vote as well. That's a very powerful weapon we are all blessed with. Many individuals fought hard for many years to get the right to vote. Women did not get the vote until 105 years ago. That's when they were able to legally vote. African Americans, it took them a long time to get the right to vote. And those of us who are blind and others who have other disabilities do have a lot of the technology that we have now. It makes it easier for us to vote without needing assistance from family and friends to be able to vote independently. It's taken a while for us to get to where we are today. While there's much work that still needs to be done in many different areas, we can be a part of that as long as we do our part to share our stories, to encourage others to do the same, and channel all of our feelings into bringing about a positive change in this world. Thank you all. Have a blessed day. May God bless and preserve our republic. Thank you.